Hello, Sanbonani, Dumelang Mzansi Africa, and welcome to Expressions. We are coming to you from SABC 1 and DTT. The brightest star in the galaxy, and happy Pride Month when Azaria Nababukeli Balapa Mzansi Africa. While the LGBTQIA+ rights and history are the focus for this week. Now, every October, our country comes together to celebrate Pride Month, a time dedicated to recognizing the LGBTQIA+ community. What we do, reflect on its history and advocating for a more inclusive future. We are Azaria now uninzi labantu across the country. They do participate in this collective celebration. Those are activities that embody the spirit of pride. Azaria kunjalo ndicho?
Kunjalo madlungu ngibingelele now.
Enkosi.
Ngibingelele la ubukele lapho ekhaya as you're watching Expressions. Mina igama lami ngu-Azaria Wakakhoza. It is great to have you with us. We are coming to you live and direct from our Auckland Park studios kwaindonga ziyaduma in Johannesburg. Silapha nje mbukeli sizothi Happy Pride Month to everyone who is part of the LGBTQIA+ community. Kule nyanga kaMfumfu ke mbukeli lapha eNingizimu Afrika sibungaza amalungelo alabo abathandana bulili bunye. Uzokhumbula ke mbukeli ukuthi during apartheid the expression of diverse sexuality was repressed. Kwezinye izinkathi, members of the LGBTQI community were killed for who they are. Yize umthetho sekelo wakulelizwe ke mbukeli wavikela amalungelo alabo abathandana nobulili bunye, kodwa iningi lisahlukumezeka ngezindlela ezahlukahlukene. Umdidiyeli wethu Tshogofaso Mokgoleho uhlanganisele nankumbiko.
In 1996, South Africa became the first country in the world to provide constitutional protection to the LGBTQI+ community, a great turning point for a community that was once ostracized for many years. Simon Mkhonde, the first openly gay anti-apartheid activist, Beverly Ditsi, and many others agitated against apartheid and for their identity rights at the same time. They saw both their struggles for human rights. The democratic transition brought hope for a country they yearned for. But despite the legislative advances, homophobia in many parts of the South African society remains a challenge. As a result, hate crime statistics against the community remains high. Whilst many suffer attacks, a number of lesbian women have fallen victim to a phenomenon of corrective rape. Since 2009, LGBTQI+ organizations have been advocating for a law to prosecute perpetrators of hate crimes. 14 years later, in December of last year, the National Assembly finally passed the Prevention and Combating of Hate Crimes in Hate Speech Bill. But many still believe its signing into law will just be a one step in the battle against the abuse, stigmatization, and miming of the community. For Expressions on SABC 1, I'm Tshogofaso Mokgoleho.
Sibonge kakhulu kumdidiyeli wethu Tshogofaso Mokgoleho for that informative insight right there. But joining me for this very beautiful conversation, I'm joined by Virginia Magwaza, who is a human rights defender, and also Ray Neo Buso, who is a multi-talented artist. He's an actor, a dancer, a performer. Welcome to Expressions, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, Ma'am Virginia, we know very well that we have come a long way as a country when it comes to amalungelo of the LGBTQI community, but we still see people that are being attacked out there because of who they are. I mean, not so long ago we had Clement Hadebe, who was 29 years old, unfortunately was shot 9 times. Can you just briefly tell me, as a country, are we making progress?
Yeah, we are making progress, but it's very slow. And also, I think we have great policies and great laws. There's a huge gap between the laws and the attitudes and perceptions of people. Because first of all, there are issues from home, from where we come from as LGBTIQ plus people, where we find ourselves being subjected to violence, even from our homes, because our parents have different understanding of gender or gender expression or sexual orientation. Hence, I started this organization called the Parents, Families and Friends of South African Queers. However, we see that bit by bit, people are now understanding, and we have an opportunity yokuthi sihlale in spaces with abefundisi and traditional leaders who are willing to learn and understand these issues.
Let me rope you in the conversation now. You know, Virginia, you know, sometimes a lot of LGBTQI people might feel ukuthi they are protected on paper, because the constitution is there, umthetho is there, but out there, the community, you know, the attitude towards them, I find. When, as someone that's in the media space, have you experienced any hate crime or, you know, in your own personal life?
I think firstly, what is sad is I've experienced where by people of color and African people will say that being part of the LGBTQIA plus community is a Western way. And it's very shocking for me, because I'm going, these are the same people who were oppressed back in the apartheid. They are the same people now oppressing another minority group. So what are we saying? We're saying it's okay when it's about race, but it's not okay when it's about your sexuality, because your gender and your sexuality shouldn't have anything to do with why people respect you and why they don't.
Yeah. All right. So you also, you know, starred in a very popular soapie on our sister channel, which was Seven Dilan, and now you were on Skim Sam as well. But on both these TV productions, you portrayed a homosexual role, like a gay man, right? Now, don't you think that somewhere, somehow, you're being typecast because of who you are and how well you would fit into these roles?
I mean, it's scary, and no one wants to be typecast. But I don't think only queer bodies are typecast in our space, right, in the entertainment space.
Yes.
I'd like to believe that your agent will send you through to the casting director and say, I believe my client would be good to do this and that. But the casting director is the one who, at the end of the day, has the last say, because they come back and they say, we don't see your talent being able to pull off this role. So how about they try that role?
The other role.
So it's about our casting directors in South Africa being open-minded enough to go, okay, let's see what Azaria can do. If Azaria so believes that they can pull off a gangster, let's see if you can do a gangster. Because if you look at it, like, once you go on TV and you're known for a certain role and you do that role really well, people, it's hard for them to see you as anything else. So it's not just as queer bodies.
All right, so Ma'am Virginia, also, we know very well that in Africa we have like a lot of countries, but we have a small number of countries that have legalized, you know, same-sex marriage or same-sex relationships, you know, countries like Seychelles, Angola, and South Africa as well, you know. So do you think ukuthi imithetho yethu esinayo eSouth Africa, is it strong enough to protect abantu abathandana ngobulili obufanayo?
You know, it's not even about imithetho yokuprotect ama LGBTIQ plus people in South Africa. Efanele ngabe ingapheleli ephepheni. I think I've said in many spaces that we have the wonderful constitution, and it's being praised everywhere in the world. However, I work in rural areas where people have not even seen the constitution itself. So it doesn't make any sense to have this wonderful book that protects the people, but the people don't know about it. So there is no enough effort to make people aware. You know, I was once in Venezuela during the reign of Hugo Chavez, where he made sure that people understand their constitution, which is called the Boliviano. When you buy rice, a packet of rice, at the back of the packet of rice, there's one clause from the Boliviano. Then a person opens this pack and then, I have a right to, you know, we need to have things like that
to instill
and also awareness as well.
Yeah.
Because some people don't know what their rights are.
Yeah.
Some people don't know where to go when their rights are being violated. And as much as our law says everyone is equal before the law, but we know how difficult it is to access the law.
Yeah. Hayi ke mbukeli sethemba ukuthi nawe khona okucosha kule ngxoxo esinayo lapha ku Expressions namhlanje. We're still celebrating Pride Month. Ungayindawo siyabuya. This is Expressions right here on SABC 1.
Welcome back, Mbugeli. You are still watching Expressions right here on SABC 1 and DTT. We are, of course, still putting a spotlight on the LGBTQIA+ rights in South Africa. Wanambuza subuzayo onga kunqayo apho ekhaya siyabuza into yokubaba Mbukeli, is South Africa really a safe haven for members of the LGBTQIQ+? Join the conversation on our social media pages. You can go Facebook at Expressions, napagox.com at Expressions_10. Before I introduce the guest, our lines are open. So yes, make sure that you give us a twinkle. Nancy number on the screen. We are joined, of course, by the reality TV star Chiwenza, award-winning trailblazer, also Ungu MC Upetumboko. Chiwenza, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
You look
Feels
lovely.
Good. Thank you. I had to come prepared, you know.
La, all gun blazing.
Thank you,
Chiwenza, you know, it's very important that, I mean, if you know your identity, we cannot shy away, you know, for pride of oneself. And, you know, I want to get your personal perspective as to, I mean, how did you get to be where you are today? Can you just share, you know, your personal experience on this self-discovery?
You know, I mean, it wasn't always easy, to be quite honest, because I think I speak for most young queer people. I think, you know, we're trying to discover who we are, especially, I grew up in a very, like, well, not a small, like, city. Polokwane is like the capital city of Limpopo, but at the time specifically, like, nobody was really trying to, like, learn about, you know, the LGBTQI+ community. It's only now that we're seeing that. So I really struggled to, like, find myself. And it only took until I think I was in varsity, I was in my second year, where you know, through friends as well that I met on campus that are in the community, they really helped me to, you know, come out of my shell, to really figure myself out. And I mean, every single day, I'm still literally trying to figure who I am. But if I compare to like 6 years ago, compared to now, I think there has been some growth and it wasn't easy. And to anybody that's watching, I will say, like, don't be too harsh on yourself in trying to figure who you are and whatever.
You'll get it along the journey. You'll get it along the way. And which is beautiful because, I mean, discovering yourself and owning up, you know, to your identity, it's quite crucial, especially in a world where everyone is constantly wanting to change you and just define. But I mean, you defined yourself, you defined your own identity. And what sort of challenges, I mean, did you come across? I mean, from a society, coming to campus. I mean, you were also part of one of the biggest reality TV shows in the country. I mean, what sort of challenges did you experience and how did you manage to bounce off?
You know, it's never, ever easy because I think the more you get confident in expressing who you are, the more people are going to have like opinions. I mean, I put myself on like display for the whole country, the whole nation basically, to on the reality TV show that I was on, to really sort of like give their input on who I am. And I knew it was going to be harder because, I mean, I'm coming there as a gay boy, coming on this platform, opening up myself to like, you know, positive comments, negative comments, mixed review type of comments. So I had to mentally prepare myself. And I mean, even when I walk outside and like, you know, I'm dolled up and whatever, I know that most people are going to be like, okay, what's actually going on? But I think I told myself that I'm always going to decide to live for myself. If I can go to bed at night being proud that, you know, as a LGBTQI+ member, I'm living my truth to the like.
And that was quite impactful because, I mean, you represented the entire community. And with that said, we do have a caller on the line all the way from Guyana. Patiwe, welcome to the show. keep those calls coming.
Yeah.
And I mean, we cannot shy away as much as Uti was owner into being yourself. I mean, it was never easy. I mean,
Definitely.
the recent deaths of trans women and members of the LGBTQIA+, you know, they are really, you know, heartbreaking.
Yeah.
We've had Ubonang Khayele, 29-year-old, who lost her life, This is really sad considering the laws that we have in the country. I mean, would you say that South Africa is really a safe haven for members of the LGBTQI+?
You know, I was listening to what Usis Virginia was saying earlier on. I mean, compared to other African countries, I mean, we do have it on constitution that, you know, we are protecting LGBTQI+ rights, but I don't think we are ever going to have it where it's like obsolete, where like everyone is going to like, you know, be for us or whatever. And it really breaks my heart to see, you know, trans people being killed and murdered and, you know, bashed, queer people in general. Like, we really have to choose, like every day when we step out of the house, we have to tell ourselves, I really hope we make it, like I make it back to my home safe and sound. And that's really not a way to live. And I mean, you know, also with women, like they also have to think that as well. Like, oh my goodness, like this might be the last day where, you know, I step, you know, outside of my house. But I think it's very sad, but I must say I'm actually very glad that I am born in South Africa as a queer person, because I think if I was in any other country, especially African country, I probably wouldn't have had it as easier, not easy because it's not easy, but like...
We have countries like Uganda, you know, that are greatly opposing, you know, they are anti, you know, they don't want anything, I mean, with their laws in place. And I mean, it just makes me think, Wuti, you know what some of the changes would you like to see being implemented in our constitution as a country? And I mean, how effective they are?
I think definitely more protection of trans rights. You know, we need our constitution to really instill more protection towards you know, our trans people, our trans brothers and sisters. It's very important that, you know, we protect them. And I think also a lot of just I mean, we're seeing it now within the metropolitan cities like Johannesburg, you know, Cape Town, and I don't know about Durban, but like maybe it's getting there. But I think a lot of like smaller towns. I think we need a lot of more education to come through there, you know.
Carry on with that, Pepples. I mean, you're here for a reason. Chuanza to the world. Thank you so much for joining us. And we wish you all the best. We celebrate you.
Thank you.
Expressions. Right in Bugeli, Kubega Usbugele. For now, you are still watching your #1 youth show. It is Expressions. We'll be back.
ematatiela kuqumbu ekatlehong eSunnyside ePretoria noma ngabe yikuphi la kusibukele khona mbukeli hlala phansi. This is Expressions right here on SABC1. Uma ngabe usandungena namhlanje sikhuluma ngamalungelo of the queer community, and we're still celebrating Pride Month right here on SABC1. And still joining me is Sis Virginia Magwaza, who's a human rights defender, and Ray Niobuso, who's an actor, dancer, and a presenter. So, Ma'am Virginia, we know very well that during Pride Month, you know, we would have these parades where the LGBTQI community will go out there and fight for their rights and fight for recognition. But however, most of the times these parades are held in cities like Pretoria, Johannesburg. You know, there's one in Soweto. But then there's a bit of lack when it comes to educating abantu that are in rural settings. You know, do you think it's high time our organizers, they start taking a pride to Engquthu eSandlwane or eNewcastle or Pants eMatatiela in the rural settings?
There's an organization which is called the Forum for the Empowerment of Women, which organizes Pride, the Soweto Pride. But they also have a program of capacitating small communities to be able to take forward their own pride. Like before the Soweto Pride, we had the Val Pride. And we also have Eguruleni Pride, which happens in Guatemala or Tembisa. And we also go into rural areas, just like in June, they were training some people in Ngomazi because they want to have their pride in Newcastle, Kanjalo Ganja. But it's one organization, you know, and it's very tight for them, especially with resources. However, they for me, and with the Forum for the Empowerment of Women, we support community pride. As a result, I don't attend Johannesburg Pride because it's in the cities. I want to have an impact when I march and give out pamphlets to say, this is who we are. Love us. We are your kids. Love us. We are your neighbors. Love us. We are your children.
Brothers and sisters. Yeah.
Yes.
So speaking of people that are in the rural setting, Neo, I can understand maybe someone who's staying deep in the rurals of Limpopo. You know, they know how they feel, but they want to come out, especially during Pride Month. But by Saba, what word of encouragement would you like to give someone that wants to come out? They want to tell their family who they are, but they're scared.
Firstly, I always believe that it's a journey on your own first, and you have to go through the journey, find yourself, find what works for you, who you are. And I think you're forever evolving, forever changing. So we're forever learning who we are as we go, correct? And when you come out to someone, you're coming out to that person already knowing who you are. And you need to also give grace and space for them to be able to digest that and process it, because as humans, it's inevitable that we're going to have expectations. So the same way that you had to come to terms with who you are, give grace for everyone around you as well.
As we wrap it up, are you happy with the representation of the queer community, especially in our TV industry and the entertainment industry at large?
I'm happy about it. I mean, like, I was listening to Trenza and I was like, come on, represent. I mean, wherever you look these days, you find that there are queer bodies in front of the camera. And we're not just behind the scenes anymore, because we've been around for a while, and especially in the entertainment industry. But it's just that we weren't given the opportunities that maybe straight bodies were given.
And we are here and we are alive.
Yes. Kolosa, that's how we wrap it up.
Brighten the corner that you are happy Pride Month. Since you're naye, Usamata Samadi with a song titled Swag On.
Bye-bye.
I love it when you're trying to impress me. Just cause you think that I'm edgy. Now from up on the bangers. Yeah, trap and shy, yeah, swaz. Tryna go home with who? Nah, nigga, don't act the fool. You said I'm acting no brand new. Now please you on the queue. And I never asked for no review. And I pulled up with my new crew. Now you wanna tell me to pull through. Wanna make me your new boo. I only roll with the few. So find someone else who can pursue. Plus I can never be number two. Nigga boo-hoo. People always have shit to say. That's the thing about it. You gon' have to pay me to care. That's the thing about me. I be looking fresh every day. Cause I'm highly favored. Put me the divine feminine. Get your swag on. Get your swag on, girl. Get your swag on. Get your swag on, boy. Get your swag on. Get your swag on. Get your swag on. Get your swag on. You ain't never made shit, no shit. Now sit, dog, sit. Could have been spreading some love and shit. But you trolling shit. All you niggas, blessers, old hackers, damn jackers, fucking crackers, just a pit. Can't commit. Tap the bed, now you think you it. Too bad cause you can't compete. Ain't shit roster, so you might as well quit. Can't keep up cause you just unfit. Go granny, go now, just go knit. Close them out, nigga, swallow your spit. Or you stuff it, acting like a cyst. Nigga, please. People always have to say. That's the thing about it. You gon' have to pay me to care. That's the thing about me. I be looking fresh every day. Cause I'm highly favored. Get your swag on. Get your swag on, girl. Get your swag on. Get your swag on, boy. Get your swag on. Get your swag on.